Hello guys.
Sorry.
Oh.
Take 633.
Alright, okay. Hi guys.
Hello.
Oh, okay, now you see. Alright guys, welcome to the podcast. Michelle and Thandi.
Hello.
So let's just get straight into it. Guys, what do you think about entanglement?
Entanglement.
Yeah.
Hey! The word of the year, I think, is entanglement.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's 2020's catchphrase.
Yeah.
So, entanglements. Okay, so what do you mean? Like,
What's
just
an entanglement?
We look at the relationship between Will Smith and Jada, right? And then so many guys were saying that Will Smith is such, I don't want to use the word, but he's not up to it. And then he shouldn't have allowed Jada to be doing that.
But
What's
wait,
your take?
Wait, personally, I feel like it's not that he wasn't okay with it. Those guys were on a break.
Yeah.
So saying that Jada is cheated is not a thing for me personally. From how I view the situation, they were not together. They had given each other a break, so they both could do whatever they could do. Will Smith did whatever he did, but Jada's garbage came out because she was with a younger person. You know, after August is the one who came out and was like, okay guys, I was with Jada and Will Smith was okay with it because he really was. They were not together, so it can't be considered as cheating.
But you have to be careful with that word break because it means something different to everybody. And that's like, I think, where their issue was. They weren't divorced. They weren't separated. I'm not 100% sure.
They described it as an open relationship, so they decided like for a time, let's just separate. But do you think it's acceptable when you're married?
Honestly, I feel like some people do need it.
I mean,
if
it's two adults coming to a decision together, then...
But how would you feel? How would you feel? Like you're on a break and then you find out that your partner...
I wouldn't allow it. I wouldn't allow it. I'm not going to lie. Because that's not an agreement I would agree to.
Yeah. But what do you think about it? Open relationships in general, having, let's say, multiple partners and probably also having emotional attachments and also sex. So it can be really, really hurtful for the other person if they are not indulged in that as well.
Yeah.
If you guys, like, if you're adults and you consent to it, I feel like it's okay, honestly speaking. Because, like, if it's an open relationship, or you and your partner decide that, okay, we're going to have an open relationship, then it's okay because you both know what you want. Sometimes just seeing the same person over and over again just sucks at times. And you just need something fresh just to, you know, to
Spicy things up.
That's one way to put it.
Spicing things up.
Yeah, that's why you get to hear about some people, some couples. They'll be like, okay, you know what? We like spicing things up. Sometimes we have threesomes. Sometimes we.
Here's a question: how many of your friends do you know personally who either have an open relationship or regularly do threesomes? How many?
That's the thing. People
do you know?
they don't want to come out because they feel they'll be judged.
Yes, they don't say things like that because I'm gonna come to you and be like, oh my gosh, Thandi, I'm having issues with my man, you know, and these things are happening, and then you're gonna be like, oh, dude, these things happen. Come on, things are gonna work out, you know, things like that because you're not living my situation. You're not in my situation. You're not gonna understand what I'm going through. So
another point that you've raised, like I've always thought about it, like. Can you stay with someone, let's say for example 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, like how, like our parents, how do they do it actually?
I honestly speaking,
don't you get bored? Because
I think they do.
most people that I've spoken with, they say that you'll be just coexisting.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard two really good pieces of advice when it comes to having a long marriage / relationship in general.
Right.
One of them is this idea that you're going to change in those 50 years. In 1 year, you're not going to be the same person. But it's about continually accepting and growing with that person. So knowing that this person is allowed to change their interests, the way that they dress, they're going to change so much, but you have to make that commitment, I guess, to accept somebody who you may not have married at the beginning. And then another point that I really like to hear is this idea that man, I forgot.
No worries.
I think we'll come back to it.
But also, like, let's say for example, cheating as well. Like, so many people, they cheat in relationships. And
I think it's better to cheat while you're still in the relationship than when you're in a marriage. You know, because many people, they're so into being with the person for, you know, we're together right now, and I see marriage, you know, because you're always with that one person, and then when you get married, you're like thinking, oh, I never got to live, you know.
But that's when some people would say that, okay, if you want some to test other people, then you'd have to close that relationship and then you move to that, so that you know like what you want, your taste, your preferences.
But people are
like,
scared. Honestly speaking, I won't lie to you. As a girl, you'd be scared, like, okay, or not just girls actually. Everyone, you'd be like, okay, what if I leave this relationship? Am I going to find someone else? You know, who's gonna want me? But you know, like people have insecurities, and because you're so used to your person, and the person has accepted you for who you are, you're not scared. Like, okay, when I go to the world, are people gonna accept me for who I am? And you're gonna need to change yourself. You know, those kind of things.
That's so true. What do you think?
I mean, I disagree though. I agree that everybody has their insecurities, but it's not an excuse to put somebody else through pain because you're scared of being alone.
But can you love two people at the same time?
I think you can.
You can.
Yeah.
But should you date two people at the same time? That's a different question. You know?
Because you don't want to lose both. Probably you have something that you like, something that you prefer in this one person, and then you have other attributes that you prefer.
That's gonna happen because two people are never the same. Of course, there are gonna be things I like about you that I don't like about you. You know,
So what do you do in that case? That's
in
when
that case.
Okay, will you be open to, let's say for example, your partner just comes, or your boyfriend or your girlfriend comes to you and then say, okay, let's have this arrangement for an open relationship so that we can have, like, we can spice things up and not hurt each other. And you are fully committed in the relationship. How do you take that? How do you take that? One, your boyfriend, let's say for example, your boyfriend wants an open relationship, but you're not open to it. You're fully committed, but for him, he wants to spice things up.
Whether you say no or not, he's gonna end up doing whatever he wants, because he would have told you like, okay, Thandi, I really want an open relationship, but because you're not in agreement with that, that's how cheating happens. Someone is gonna cheat, and then they won't let you know. But if you say yes to the open relationship, yes, they're gonna be hurt. The other person, the one who's fully committed, is gonna be hurt. But like, you know, that person is gonna come back if they really care. Like,
I've been in a situation like this actually, where I had an ex request an open relationship, and I did not expect it. And I think the main thing that I thought was why. What is the need that is not being met, that he feels like we need to spice things up? Can we try other options? And at the time,
did you feel like, am I not enough for you?
Because
some people will say that, okay, am I not enough for you, that you want another person? You need someone. What is it that you want?
It makes you feel, well, for me, I felt betrayed in a way. I felt almost like he was using me, taking me for granted. Like you said, I felt like he was just waiting to see the next one. Like he's keeping his hand on this branch before moving to that branch. That's how I felt. Like I'm just a step on the ladder for him at that point. And then it began to like breed some unhealthy feelings, because now you're thinking, oh, what are you doing to that side? And you're thinking, maybe I should just go ahead and.
But
do
how
my
did you
own
take
thing.
it? Like, was it so hurtful? Did it pain you so much?
No, well, at the time we were able to have a really good conversation and just be honest. And I think that's the main thing when it comes to like open relationships. Communication,
any relationship is communication.
Relationships, but
if you don't communicate, it's not gonna help. If I don't, like personally, if I'm going to be in a relationship with you guys, if I tell you I don't like something, whether you like it or not,
you have to respect.
You have to respect my feelings. And when you tell me that you don't like something, I have to respect that as well.
Yeah.
But sometimes people, they fear, like what we were saying earlier on. Let's say, for example, there are these fantasies in people.
Yeah.
They say, okay, I just want to have an open relationship. I want to go for a threesome. I just want to feel how it
that's
tastes.
your you chose
Yeah,
that person.
but then to tell the other person who's fully committed, then you hurt them also because they are not as much engaged to that like you.
Yeah, I know, but then it's better to say it.
Yeah.
I've been in a relationship where you keep things inside, like you bottle things up. The time that you open a bit of that bottle, like I promise you, things will not go well. So it's better you be like, you know what? I really feel like we should have a threesome. You know, like I've been thinking about it. I don't know what you think, but then like, you know, this is how I feel. And if
the other person says that I don't feel comfortable, you can just go ahead and then have it.
That, like, I think.
I mean, I don't think you go ahead and have it.
Yeah.
If you feel uncomfortable, like there has to be a kind of discourse on like whether how you want to move forward. Are you guys both still going to stay committed? Are you breaking up so that he or she can go off and
but then it comes
they will never see you again the same way.
The same way.
Because
you might break up with someone and then you guys, both of you will do things in that time that you're not together.
Right.
But the moment you guys get back together, you're both wondering, so that
so
time when you were not together,
this is why you've been thinking about
you'll be like, okay, now let's put all our cards on the table and then we just tell each other what we did. So that, but then things won't be the same. It might be probably that you broke up for the good or for the bad. Like you never know, but for some people it works out. If you can cheat on me while we're dating, or if you can hit me while we're dating, then I am
a red flag.
That's a red flag for me personally. The door will be open for you there and then, and there's no way, there's no room for you to come back ever again.
Is it that easy? Because there are so many people,
it's not
easy, like
but it's just that for me personally, I feel like if your boyfriend can hit you while you're still boyfriend and girlfriend, what more when you're in the house?
Yeah, there's that saying that whatever your relationship is now, in marriage it's 10
gonna
times
be worse.
10 times whatever it is.
Because you guys as guys don't show us everything. You don't show us
do
your
girls
true
show
colors.
everything also?
I think we do.
Really?
I feel like girls give in more in a relationship than guys. But it depends on the relationship. But because there are some guys who give in more than the girl. It really is like that. But I feel like for guys, you don't really show you'll be like, okay, you show hints. Like you show hints, but then you'll be like, okay, I showed this part of me, but let me just, put
but
it back.
haven't you had stories of girls, let's say for example they're in a relationship, it's abusive, they're being beaten, the guy's cheating, but they'll still remain in that relationship? Why is it like
that? I know people who've been in those kind of relationships. I know them like.
Have you ever talked with them and then like see why they are still in the relationship?
It's probably because it's, I don't know, it's something to do with the mentality that, okay, it's like,
is it like a spell or what?
It's like your brain, okay, for some of them it's like they're brainwashed by the guy, It's
like how do you
know.
get
so
brainwashed?
basically
they make you feel like you need them. I don't know.
There's a few reasons why people stay in abusive relationships. Some, it becomes a cycle. They think that it'll be different this time. If I forgive him, this is the last time. Next time I'll leave. And then the cycle continues. There's some whose self-worth has been, whether it's because of their partner or because of external things, self-worth is gone. So they feel like nobody else will ever love me. I might as well just stay.
Right.
And then there's a lot of self-blaming and guilt, and you're thinking,
and
maybe it is my fault.
And another thing is that they also think like, am I going to start all over again from scratch? Probably I've invested
the sunk cost fallacy, this idea that I've invested so much in this relationship. Am I just gonna throw it away over?
That's true.
Fill in the blank.
As like for guys, having to sleep with people is not a big thing. Like that's a generalization. But for girls, it's like if I sleep with 2 guys, or if I sleep with 3 guys, then my self-worth, like your value as a girl, like I feel like it deteriorates, And then for a guy, it's like one of those no one really cares because you guys are the ones who are gonna be paying bridal price for us. And then when that process is happening, the families are gonna be asking each other like, "Is she a virgin?" Is those
but
kind
then
of things.
like nowadays it has changed.
Yeah.
Because like these days girls they don't say it, but guys
depends on the family though. I think.
But then it's you because your family. Let's say for example you are here, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you are here and your family is back home. you have the freedom to do whatever you want. Who's going to be monitoring?
And are you telling your parents what you're getting up to?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but
in most instances, we don't. That's the
but
truth.
it's
That's
just
honest
like a
truth,
girl.
Yeah.
Being a girl.
Yeah.
A girl would rather give one guy 1,000 chances than give 1,000 guys one chance. That means my body count is going to be like 10,000.
But if someone has been cheated on, right? They have been abused. Then after that they'll be like, why should I be committed with one person and then be cheated again? So they become wild. They'll be like, okay, I'm just gonna live a free life.
Like,
I'm not
I feel like it's because of the heartbreak.
Yeah.
It does a lot to different people, you know.
Heartbreak
The way they react.
Can the director ask a question?
Yeah.
Sure.
So you said for a girl, you would rather give one guy 1,000 chances than 1,000 guys one chance.
Which I disagree with.
And then you talked about
Continue.
okay, fine. You talked about body count. So is it solely on body counts? Because if that guy, one guy is useless chap, why would you give him 1,000 chances just so that you not raise your body count?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
understand, but
no, you guys
I've had
respond.
this conversation before,
Right.
and it's this idea that would you rather stay in an unhealthy relationship that you're destroying your life for? You know, you're destroying your life by staying in that relationship, or maybe your body count does increase, but you're healthy. Your mental health is intact. Your career is successful. I'm not saying sleep around or anything like that. It's just we place too much importance on body count, in my opinion. We really do, and not enough on the quality of that relationship and yourself, the quality of yourself when you're in that relationship. So I don't think I would like this idea that black women need to give 1,000 chances is finished.
But then that's just
the
how
time
you
is
grow
gone.
up. Like you're told when you're leaving country from home, like you're sure like you come back and you're like.
But there's that also that stigma also.
They did not tell me this. I missed the meeting.
That's the thing. There's also that stigma to say, let's say for example, even if you're having like these issues, you're being abused in your relationship, you don't like feel like at liberty to discuss it with your friends as well or your family members, because they'll then say, why are you engaged in this? We sent you to school, now you are having boyfriends
and problems.
or they've beaten you or something like that.
That's true. That's really true. That's really true.
But then if parents would accept to have these uncomfortable conversations
with
with
child, are you gonna be doing that?
For me, I'll be very open, because it's not like because they'll be denying that it's happening, but yet it's happening, and your son or your daughter is being destroyed internally.
I feel like personally, my dad has, since I was in high school, I was like, no, I know you're growing up and things are gonna happen, and you can come to me and talk to me, but I'm just like
me talking to you. The door of communication is open.
It has to be open. Yeah, it's very open.
At least.
But it's your decision not to go
to
him.
No, it's the way some people will react. You don't know how he's going to like, Dad,
true.
I'm having sex and this is happening, you know. My boyfriend, probably, I don't know if he has an STD or something. Are you going to have those conversations with your parents?
No. But
yeah.
If I give myself as an example, without getting into details or anything, earlier this year, my parents are very strict as well and very traditional. I would never talk to them about boys or anything like that. Earlier this year, I sat down with my dad, on the phone. I said to him, you know, I'm going through this with my significant other and I need your advice. And I was so surprised. My African dad...
Is it you?
My African dad was on my side. And at the end of the day, you have to remember that they would rather see you alive and healthy than anything else.
That's true.
You know,
it's just us who are scared that they are not going to take it lightly.
I would be okay with going to my mom.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I was going through some stuff as well. Like what you just said. There's a time when I went home. The second time I went home. Dude, I was going through some stuff. And I was just like, Mom. Well, like we're like at the airport, like we're coming from SA, and I was just like. Because that's when it hit me. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to react. I was just like, so I actually had to look around to see if my dad was close by.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Testing
this is
the waters.
happening and all that. And then she was like, oh, okay. And then she actually gave me advice, you know. And that's when, after that, even until now, she actually calls me and I actually tell her like what's happening in my life. Like I'm literally
like you're real with
like,
everything. Yeah.
She literally knows what's happening in my life, but not in detail. Though.
Yeah. Why do people cheat? What triggers it?
I'm not satisfied with my partner, so I'm gonna cheat.
Okay.
Like he's not satisfying me in bed. Like
Okay.
that's one thing. Cause
Yeah.
like it's like I don't know why we do this, but then like it's a thing.
Yeah.
My partner is providing for me everything else, but then just one point he's just not satisfying me. Like I'm not being satisfied in bed, so I'm gonna look for where I'm gonna get satisfied.
That's one
That's
trigger.
Okay, my question is why don't you said I'm not being satisfied, therefore I will go look outside.
Yeah.
Why isn't our first instinct to talk to our partner and
But
say,
I think it's
I'm not being satisfied, can we do
I
things
don't think people
differently?
are comfortable with this whole level.
Yeah. it's really really hard, I think.
Like I can
For-
have
Yeah, for people who are in a good relationship and all of a sudden you say that, hey. But what you're saying is
It's
true
not
also. You
working out.
can have a word
Yeah.
with your partner saying that I'm not satisfied. How can I make you feel good?
Yeah. The reason why I ask is because yes, it's uncomfortable to have that conversation.
Yeah.
But it's even more uncomfortable if you cheat and then you're caught and then there's all this drama
But then
and
not everyone
hurt
gets
and
caught, though.
emotions.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
everyone. I feel like for guys, if they cheat,
It's very
And
easy for you
then-
guys to notice.
no.
It's very
no,
easy. You can
no,
see changing
Yeah.
behavior. I'm
No,
telling
I
you.
think
No.
you can observe.
Yeah.
No, not every
Yeah.
guy.
Not
Some guys. Personally, I feel
Hardcore.
like if a guy cheats on you
Yeah.
and then you find out that he was cheating, then he wanted you to find out.
Same applies for girls. But
No.
for girls
No,
it's very
no, no.
hard.
For
For
girls,
guys
it's
they
easier
can
to-
change.
For girls, it's easier
Yeah.
to notice because like I feel like for girls, like get attached.
Another trigger is that if someone has cheated, then they feel like they have to retaliate as well. To say
But
that
I
no,
was-
because my
I-
guy or my girl is cheating, let me also do the same thing as well.
I'll be
But that's-
honest with you,
that's
I've
fine.
never heard that before.
They won't say
Cheating and cheating to get back at each other.
There are people who
Right.
do that. I know people who do that.
You know.
I know.
Okay.
People
I
who
they'll
just
be like,
don't
let's
know.
let's
like,
let's square off.
They literally like exchanging like I
Okay.
cheat, you cheat, you cheat. Like it's like that.
Do you think
But then-
another trigger can be competition as well? Peer
Competition
pressure.
for what?
Let's say, for example, you are having your circle of friends,
Uh-huh.
you're discussing about your sex life, right? And then you hear from your friend, they're saying, hey guys, we're having a great time, I'm enjoying my
I don't.
my
If-
intimate
if
moments with
you-
my guy. And then you look at yours with your, whatever, your significant other.
No, I disagree with that one.
Yeah.
I don't think peer pressure is actually a thing for if you know yourself, like if you have your priorities straight.
Yeah.
Because people tend to make their relationships seem the way they're not.
Okay,
If we try to look at social media
alright.
and you have bagels and all those things, like people want to compete with that. Sorry, English.
It's okay.
People want to compete with what they're seeing on social media, but then in reality, you don't really know that if that's what they're really like in person. Because you can have, okay, for
But doesn't
example,
it happen as well?
It does
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
I think you touched on a good point. In
Yeah.
my opinion, I think cheating mostly happens because of somebody's insecurity
Exactly.
in some way or shape or form. Whether they're insecure comparing themselves and
Yeah.
trying to compete, or they're insecure,
Yeah.
maybe I'm not giving my partner enough, so let me
Get
do
it from somewhere.
something. Or maybe they're insecure about their own body and
Yeah.
they don't want to share that with their partner, or maybe their partner earns more than them. Whatever it is, I
But
think
then
it all
more
goes to
money-
insecurity.
Probably they need more
Insecurity.
money to live a life like their friends as
Some
well. They
people-
want to go on vacation and then you see your boyfriend or
There's
girlfriend.
that.
But
in
you
the
don't
store.
know what your friends are doing for that money.
Of
But
course,
you never know, but
sometimes
for
people
you, you
still
feel left
feel.
out, yeah.
Yes, people still feel.
I
you
know, but then I don't think people should really compare their lives to other people because you don't really know what.
Yeah.
But they
other
do
people
it
are doing.
anyway.
They do it,
Yeah.
yes, but then like as a person, you
Yeah.
have to know yourself. You have to be okay with what you are. Growing up, I was taught to be content with what I have. I'm gonna see my friends doing whatever they're doing, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, do I really, like, am I capable of being part of that, or do I, like, you look back at your finances and you look back at where you are in your life and where you want to be. Like, if you really prioritize your life and you know your priorities, I'm sure you would never be shaken by what you see outside.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking about principles, right? Let's say, for example, you're in a relationship and probably you're living together, and then your partner is not open to having sex with you. and for you feel the urge to have sex, can that be a trigger for you to go out and cheat so that you can have intimate moments with other people?
I know. It's really possible.
So what do you do in that? Okay, like if you are in such kind of a situation whereby your partner wants sex, but you have your principles, you're saying you don't want to have.
Then look for someone who's gonna be the way you are. Like if I don't want someone who's gonna want sex because I'm a Christian girl and I'm gonna be looking for a Christian guy who's like no sex before marriage.
Yeah.
Then look for that person. Don't force someone to be something they're not. It doesn't work like that.
And you also can't stay in a situation where someone is trying to force you. Because I've been there before as well. Like exactly the situation that you're laying out.
You feel the pressure.
We tried to stay together even though we were at odds, but constant friction. He eventually cheated on me.
Okay. It's a trigger.
It was a trigger because I was like, no. He was like, yes. We both liked each other's company. But it got to a point where I don't know what happened, and it hurt so much. And I think the worst thing was at the time you're thinking maybe I should have just said yes, and you start regretting and you blaming yourself.
It becomes toxic.
It becomes really sad.
I think also
so it doesn't work.
From guys' perspectives that I've spoken with, they also say that if she's saying no, probably she's also giving it to someone else.
Yeah,
right?
I've heard that before.
So
because you never really know. But it's all about trust at the end of the day. Trust your partner, communicate. Those two things are really key.
Speaking about trust, if your partner cheated on you, would you forgive them? Why or why not?
I wouldn't. Because if you can cheat on me once,
I would not.
It's been done.
I will walk, guys. You won't see me.
What about you, personally?
I think you have to look at the reason why they cheated. You have to have a conversation with them also.
I was talking to someone the other time because they cheated. No, they didn't cheat. Because they posted something about cheating. So like cheating is something you meditate upon. You don't just wake up and be like, oh, I'm cheating. No, you think about it. Like you actually think like, oh yeah, I'm seeing this big. Like you don't just be like, oh, I fancy this person, and then that's one time like.
But with guys, it's different. Like guys, they're visual people. It's not. Let's say, for example, it's that they're attaching.
Guy who told me that he was like, you don't just wake up and cheat. You don't. It just doesn't happen.
But we hear of stories where you're at a party, everybody's drunk, this girl comes.
I've been drunk before. I know. When you're drunk, you know what you're doing. You can't just wake up and be like, I blame the alcohol. It doesn't, guys.
I don't. I'm not saying you blame the alcohol. I'm just saying that for some people it happens spontaneously.
You would have looked at the person and be like.
That's what I'm saying. That's the point that I wanted to raise. That for other guys they are visual. Let's say they just go clubbing, partying, and then they just see another like attractive girl. Then they probably want to have intimate moments with that person. Not necessarily that they no longer love you. But then it's just that moment,
if you really
and they're
did
drunk.
Love me, why would you go look at someone else? If you really did
it's
care
impossible
about
in this world that you are living that you can't
look
notice.
At someone, you can notice, but don't do anything. You're free to look. I don't.
That's how you girls look at it. But for guys,
I disagree. I actually disagree with you. I do think attraction is normal. But that's where
you act upon it.
No. But that's where control and self-discipline comes. And it's like we're living in an age wherein we're desensitized to a lot of these sexual things. So you almost have no excuse just because a girl is showing her boobs to you. You know how boobs. You know what I mean? Okay, but let's say she's here showing you.
Yes, you
now.
You're like, hey, babe, please come.
I'm
not feeling comfortable here.
Other people they fear being labeled that they are traditional, they are old school. That's why they'll just look.
That now comes into you.
And then you girls will come and say that okay, we want our rights. Why are you looking at my boobs? You are a pervert. All these things come in place. So no one can come to you and say, close, hey, please.
You actually respect yourself. Close your eyes. Go look elsewhere. There are other things to be looking at.
Really?
So on the bottom line, bottom line is, you would not forgive your partner. You would, or would?
Yeah, I'll consider.
You'd consider
based on the circumstances.
What circumstances would you forgive them for?
Like, for example, sometimes like you just go for a party or you just go, and then it's just. Haven't you heard of one night stands from these people?
But that's because mainly single people are the ones who are doing this one night stand.
Yeah. Okay, let's shift it though. Okay. Let's say we were 15 years in a marriage. He was working overseas for maybe 6 months or whatever, or she was working, whichever gender. You were at home with the kids and whatever, and they cheated once, and they came home. As soon as they came home, they told you.
Would you prefer them telling you or they don't, or you find out?
I prefer telling.
Yeah, telling me is better. If I find out,
is that easy, guys?
You
make it sound as if it's so easy saying, "Babe, I was outside. Hey, I couldn't control myself."
You couldn't control yourself, but then now we're living in an era where you have sex toys, guys. You can use those things to satisfy yourself. But then not cheating on anybody.
People will be like, we wanted the real thing.
But then it's almost, I think.
I'm just like, sex toys. Still. Continue.
From what I see, it looks like it's the real thing, you know? So like, you can just do away with that. It's just for 6 months. It doesn't hurt to be faithful to your person. Like, honestly.
Okay, would you forgive your partner
like
if they come and tell you?
It depends on the circumstances. It really does.
Let's say you're not in a long distance relationship.
Long distance relationship, it's true. It happens.
You cheat.
A lot.
That was the situation I was in. Wherein at first we were like, okay, this is it. But then he felt like we should be in an open relationship. But then he changed it. He was like, because girls get more emotionally attached, you should not see anybody.
But for me.
And so
you see now.
You know what I mean? And then we ended up breaking up.
Terms and conditions.
And change. So I think the problem is when it comes to this whole conversation of open relationships and cheating, it's just we make all these tiny rules thinking that but when the moment comes and you're with somebody or you're not with somebody,
and it kills you like the guilty conscience. Let's say after the act, that's when you realize like, I messed up.
And at the end of the moment, you're probably not thinking about it.
It eats you up.
Sensation and all those things. But I feel it's just.
What about another topic? Friends with benefits. What do you think?
If it floats your boat, it floats your boat, guys. Like honestly, like maybe if I'm single, you're single, and we don't want anything serious, and we just want to have fun. Teach each other stuff.
Like, how do you start the conversation? Sometimes, let's say for example, the
I
other person
know.
I just want to know.
I really know.
I'm doing this for the other audience. For the people.
Okay, someone came to me once.
Someone approaches you and then they say like, "Hey, I'm interested in us having intimate things." But then we just keep it for the act.
You know, someone once approached me and said the same stuff. You know, it's a guy. Yeah, of course it's a guy. Are you trying to tell us something? Hint, hint.
In this age, it's possible. Also, girls also,
No, okay. And then they're like, you know what? You know, they'll make it seem like they want a relationship with you. But then later on, you actually realize, like, okay, you know how when you're in a relationship with someone, they want you to start a relationship. You have to meet, go out on dates and stuff like that, spend more time together. But you see that this person is not really there. And you also see that, okay, what's going on here? You try to talk about it and stuff like that. And it's one of those, I really like you, but
can we have an arrangement?
I want it to be casual. I don't want something serious. So you see me as someone you would actually just wanna hitchhike. You know. So
I think just going back to what we're discussing about cheating, another trigger is that when someone is getting into a relationship, they don't set their intentions clear.
They don't. It's only when one person is now you can see that someone is invested and you're there like,
or someone just wants
they just want to have a fling.
And it'll be too late now to have to set your intentions once you have already started the relationship.
Intentions are very, very important. I think even for some people, casual relationships, we see it all the time. It can work for some people depending on where they are in their lives if the intention is straight or so then it gives the person the opportunity to deny and move on for something better, what they're looking for, or to accept, and then you guys do whatever.
But that's the thing with guys now, Thandi. Because guys will be like, if I'm clear with her that I just want benefits, then she's not going to accept me. Yeah, she's going
some
to
girls do. No, some girls do, and like I appreciate even when people approach me. And they're very honest. I'll say I appreciate your honesty. But I'll have to kindly decline. But
what if it's your friend? What if it's your friend?
It's better than.
Are you going to remain as friends?
I would. Honestly,
really?
I would.
But the moment that you just see that person, that thought will just come back.
No, I'm telling you what happened
You'll
to me.
You'll be seeing the egg whenever you see that person. And this guy,
What happened to me?
That
person that I'm telling you about, that person who wanted a fling with me. I still talk to them. Like normal friendship, not like that part. Like it's all gone. Like it's literally history.
I feel like relationships affect people in different ways, and it's like after 5, think about high school. There were probably girls you had a crush on. At the time, it was so intense, but now you don't even think about it. I feel like that's
telling each other fairy tale stories.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be with you for life,
forever,
baby names.
Baby names, my parents, But now you've matured. You're not even the same person that you were at that time. And I think the same thing happens when you...
Like for us, 10 years down the line,
we'll
be like, okay, that time I wasn't mature. So
Yeah.
it continues to happen as you grow.
Like you can look at yourself like the person you were 3 years ago or the person you were last year even.
Even after, like long back when we like even in high school, when you have a heartbreak, right?
Yeah.
You'd be like feeling like it's the end of the
Right?
world.
Okay.
But then 1 year, 2 years
That's
later,
you.
that's how I
For
felt.
me,
But then after
it's
that,
different
after it's done, like 2 years down the line, you
Right?
find someone else to be like, so why was I
crying? Why was I so upset?
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. I think that's why it's such a shame to throw away friendships over.
This. But it's good because if someone is being clear with you, you should appreciate that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's better than them stringing you along. Or like then you find out like when you're really, really attached now and you're like, I found someone. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
that's why you see people suggesting for open relationships.
What do you mean?
To try and...
Right. And also, one other thing, it's about cohabitation.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about? Should you stay with your boyfriend or your girlfriend and then see whether it will work out for marriage?
Personally, I don't know what you call Zoom in English.
You're too fast.
For some of our...
When you want to do it, make sure like you guys are in sync. Don't just rush into it. I remember, guys, my first time doing this thing of cohabiting, guys.
In for a rude awakening. What was it like?
We went from being high, guys. Like it was so fun, and then it just went.
The passion is gone.
It's like I feel like you guys need to don't rush it. If you're gonna cohabit, don't rush into it. Like you have to be okay being your separate entity. Be okay with being yourself. Like be whole. Don't say this is my.
But can you
house.
cohabit without having like intimate moments like sex?
Yeah, you can.
It's sleeping with someone on the same bed.
For me, it's possible. Honestly, it's very possible.
I commend that.
Right.
But I doubt
it's practical for most people.
For most people, but it also comes down to how you. I don't know. I can't say how you view yourself, or it just comes down to yourself, like
what you want.
What you want as a person.
If
you can stand your ground, like dude. Me, I'm not playing this game.
If you don't want to go out.
If you don't want, the door is open.
So if they go out, will you be okay with it? Because you've given them the green light.
I've been like you know what?
Yeah.
I'm okay with you going, and I'm okay with it. If you want to stay, make sure you're staying and not opening stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and if you're cohabiting, make sure like you guys are in sync. Otherwise, things won't go well. You might be high. They're gonna be high highs and very low lows. Like very low lows. So like for me, I cohabited with my partner at some point in my life. Like and then things didn't go well, and then we actually ended up like separating. Like we started staying different places, and I feel like that time it actually became better.
Yes.
That now that we
yourself.
cohabit again, it's way better than the first
Than
time.
before.
Way better than the first
So
time.
like generally I don't suggest cohabiting, only because a lot of our peers, especially in your early 20s, they kind of just rush into it thinking, oh, it'll make the relationship better.
Yeah, that's true.
This, I love them already. So, and
the
then
morale is so high.
You start seeing habits like
habits, the loss of privacy. I even experienced like a loss of trust with this idea that you can't go out of the house just anytime. Now you have to tell somebody, oh, I'm going to do this.
Now you're acting like a wife, a mother, a friend,
and a lot of Christian scholars, like even without the Bible verses backing it up, they just portray this idea that it's playing house before you're actually there is messy because you're entangling. You're entangling before actually putting an official title on it. So when you're trying to separate, sometimes it can be really, really messy.
Like what you're saying is true also. Like for example, the pressures that come with you staying with someone, and sometimes you just want to be alone. And then to communicate to your partner to say, or your boyfriend or girlfriend to say that I just want some alone time. Dude, it becomes hard.
Just pack your stuff, go hotel.
You can, but another reason why a lot of people in their early 20s cohabit is finances actually. And they have this idea.
That's true though.
But to counter that though, not everybody, like you said, you need to be in sync with your partner. In our case, like if you're a student or you're in your early 20s, unstable income, maybe your partner gets more than you. Like now you have to sort out who pays how much for rent, who buys this, and if you're going out, maybe now you're going out to eat more together. There's a lot of like little
everything you'll be doing together.
But it adds up.
What? From my own experience, I feel like when I was cohabiting between 2017 and 2019, I spent more money than when I was living by myself. So finances in a relationship are just you actually spending a lot of money, but you don't realize it. You actually think you're saving money, but you're really not.
I agree.
Some other people they cohabit because they're afraid that their boyfriend or girlfriend is going to cheat.
Then that's not you being insecure though.
But it happens.
Yeah, it happens, but then that's you being insecure.
Especially if, let's say, for example, you are in the same locality and then your boyfriend, hey guys, this English lost me for just
bundles are finished.
English bundles have been depleted just for a second. It's alright. So your partner is in the same area that you are in, and then you're just afraid. Yeah, it's true, insecurities. But then it's true, it happens.
But at the end of the day,
that fear,
being content, like it all goes down to being content with who you are. Like I personally feel like that 1 year I was literally staying by myself. Like it did more good than harm. Now I'm content with who I am. I don't care what he's gonna be doing outside. Like if he's gonna be like, I'm going out, I don't even ask where you're going. Like, and if I'd be like, dude, peace, I'm going, and he'd be like, okay, see you when you come back. Like he doesn't even ask me where I'm going, you know. And like when 2018, like one of those, I feel like if I go out with my friends, I just have to be like, I'm like, you're playing house with someone, because this is you playing house with someone. You have to inform them, I'm going to eat with my friends. I'm going
so you don't want to be held accountable, you just want your freedom. Okay.
They're good.
Because like
she was also talking about privacy. No, it's no longer there.
Like if you have a bigger room, then you sometimes you should be free to be able to like, I'm gonna go to my friends and I don't need your permission. Like having that.
She wants a freedom.
I want my freedom, guys.
Alright.
You haven't gone to my parents to go and ask for my hand in marriage.
Okay.
So you have no, personally, I feel like.
But
really
is it practical to not to have sex before marriage?
The idea, sex before marriage?
Yeah. Is it practical?
Depends on, it's a very personal
people
thing.
actually not getting into it before marriage.
Yeah.
I think it's practical for some people, but like the idea, should we date before marriage?
Yeah.
We should.
Date before
marriage.
marriage.
Okay, should we date in general?
Yeah, bundles is depleted as well.
Like my bundles is gone. But like it's this idea, like should you try out things before you make a commitment?
Yeah,
and that,
true.
You know, logic tells us yes, you need some kind of experience to compare things and to say this is what I definitely want and this is what I definitely do not want.
That's true.
Too many times in the African community, especially.
Yeah.
But communities all over. You marry somebody, you waited. This is supposed to be your perfect, happily ever after.
But there's
which is a myth, actually.
There's no.
It's not like that.
But
then we see it like growing up. We always see it in movies. Our parents like talking about that.
My mom would. Since I was a kid, guys. Every time I'm watching a movie and it's romantic, because I love romance movies, guys. And we're here, I'm busy like, oh my gosh, that's the kind of life I want. Like, dude. Can you just chill? This is just a movie. This is like
not like that.
But it's implanted in you, so you think like you're going to have that kind of relationship. That's why also in relationship people they cheat because they have unrealistic expectations of the relationship.
That's true.
So when they get
we see fairy tales, we see Cinderella. You want a Cinderella kind of
and
that's not gonna happen.
The point I was trying to make is that
okay, Mr. Director, thank you for letting us know that we need to.
We're 40 minutes.
We're 40 minutes. Okay, in. All right, thank you so much.
The point I was going to make is, you might get into a marriage and then find out that even physically you're not compatible.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you guys know of vaginismus. I think
I
that's
thought you were going to say something. What's that?
I'm not saying anything. I hope that the word comes on the screen.
Okay.
What I'm talking about, but it's essentially.
What's the word?
Say it again.
Okay, the director put it up. Okay.
It's basically a condition wherein here it is.
Yeah.
It's basically a condition wherein sex is extremely painful for the female. They cannot put anything up there.
Yeah.
So there was an issue wherein people would wait for marriage and then you find out you have this condition and because like society is very prude and nobody wants to talk about these things. This husband and wife would argue and a lot of problems would arise, which could have been not avoided but known about earlier had they been intimate before. Now that's just one example, but there's a lot of practical things that having some kind of experience helps you to decide and helps
I think it's so true because if you just settle for let's say just date one person and then later on you find out that you probably didn't test other
because you want to be able to.
That's where people you see them cheating in marriage.
Yeah, that's true.
And I feel like people are happier once they said, okay, this person this person
you
I know it is you because I tried the others and it is you that I want.
I feel like everybody should be at a point where they can actually be like, you know what, I've tried all the other and this is what I want because
I've dated all races.
Because
all races, all ages.
Well, okay, I think we've been talking too much about like relationships. This is like
we've exhausted a lot of points.
Exhausted. I think a lot of stuff, not everything, but a lot. So now we're gonna be talking about depression.
Yes.
So what's your take on depression, guys? Like, what do you think?
I think depression is real, and then sometimes you don't feel like you are depressed.
I don't think you actually know if you're depressed, honestly.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You only know after. Okay, for me, I only knew after.
Can you share your experience?
Like, for me, how it started was actually funny. I was new in Malaysia, and then things just started going bad back home.
Right.
Like, and I didn't know if I could trust anyone.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people would come to me and be like, "Oh, dude, like, I'm here for you. I got your back," and I'm like, "Nigga, we just met." Like, like how can you? Like, for me,
it's like, hey, I got
like,
trust
hey,
issues.
hey.
Yeah.
My wall was up there, guys. Like China wall, guys.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
much I was like.
Yeah.
I always kept things to myself, you know. And you know, if I actually tell you some of the times when I actually broke down, you were there, but you probably don't know.
Yeah. But
Like,
then I never realized.
You
Yeah.
never like I would break down and I wouldn't even know what was going on. There's a time when I broke down in church.
Yeah.
I just started crying from knowing, and I'm just like,
People will be like, you are deep
No!
in spirit.
Must
She's meditating.
no. But Kanye actually came and like,
Yeah.
you're crying. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? You're crying for who?
Yeah.
And then someone was like, dude, you're actually crying. And then I actually wiped my face and I'm like, oh
Like,
yeah, I'm actually, like, I
you
didn't
didn't
even
know,
know I
yeah.
was crying.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, you know, you asked me what's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know
Yeah.
what was wrong with me. Because, like, it was like a cascading of the events that was just happening back home. Like, I
And
like, it just kept adding up.
Yeah.
There's a time when we went to Melaka.
Right.
On our way there,
Yeah.
my sister texted me like on our way, and then she told me something just happened, and I'm just like, Lord, are you really in my life? Like, what is going on?
Like everything is just
like,
crashing.
Everything was
Yeah.
just like, dude. When we got there,
Yeah.
I think when we got out of the car, I think you even saw. I just went straight to Okadi.
Right.
And I just like I was sometimes you laugh at you like what's happening in your life, right? And it's like I don't understand, and you just like can you believe this happened?
Yeah.
And then this also happened, and then you're like what is happening? Like, and then I just started breaking, like I just started crying, and I'm just like
I think
you,
the other
you
thing
didn't even notice,
yeah.
like yours. I don't think you guys even noticed like that was happening. And then,
Yeah, because you've been in Malacca, you're enjoying sightseeing, you're seeing everything. Yeah.
After I was done, because you're like, yo, let's go into the car. I just like put myself together because I'm just like, I don't want people to see that I'm sad. You know, I'm a strong woman. And then if I show people that I'm sad or something just happened, then people's moods are gonna be, you know, like it's gonna affect everyone else. Just like, you know. And then after that, I was just like, you know, yes, this is happening. And then after that, I just went down the rail. Like it was.
And you have raised another good point to say that sometimes you might be depressed and then people around you might not even notice.
Yeah, they won't even
I think that people with depression oftentimes tend to be very good at hiding it.
Yeah.
Or very good at just pretending or
like everything
keeping
is
that
normal. But
the
why is it like
appearance.
that?
Because of
Many reasons.
Yeah.
We're black guys.
Yeah.
When you're growing up, you're seeing depression, anxiety, all these things are
Yeah.
white people's problems. These are white people's diseases.
Especially also for guys as well, because you're raised up to be like a strong
Especially for
person. So if you break down, they'll be like you're weak. So
I think for a girl, it's
so you just
easier. I
borrow
can
in
come
everything.
to my to your guy friends or whatever and be like, dude, I'm going through the most right now, and this is what's happening in my life. But for a guy to come to you and be like,
hey,
this is
even you, if you look at them, you'll be like, this one.
Yeah. But even so,
Yeah.
I still think that it's hard for black women especially because we have this pressure that, you know, we have whole families on our backs. You cannot just cry.
Yeah.
You know, you can't. You have to still show up, and you have to still keep giving that effort, and
that's true.
That wears out for you, especially for example, people like us who are away from home for years on end.
That's the other thing. We are far from home. Yeah.
You know, you can't cry, or you can, but then it doesn't do anything. So I think it's.
But how do you deal with it? How did you overcome your
honestly for
like
me, I didn't do it by myself.
Yeah.
Someone from C3 actually noticed that I was not okay.
From church.
Yeah, from church.
Yeah.
That time, the last few days that the days I was thinking of leaving C3 because I didn't think it was the right place for me. Right. So someone actually noticed that this girl was, like I think I started acting different. Yeah. I was lashing out at everyone and everything, guys. And then I was just like, then this thing happened, and then she just came to me. I was like, dude, I can see that you're not okay. What's happening? Can we talk? And then she'd always call me, and then would actually talk, and then that helped me. And then there are times when it would really hit me hard when I'm at home.
So you opened up with the person,
I don't think I fully opened up, but they saw that something was not right. I feel like God sent, because I was, guys, when I tell you my wall was up there, like
so
I was
basically also trust issues. You couldn't share like what you were going through.
What I was going through.
That's what most people suffer with.
I wasn't even aware that that's what I'm going through. You know, like. Dude, going to class, I was just a zombie. I was going because I have to go. You can't miss more than 3 classes, so you just like whatever I find in my cupboard, I'm just throwing. Even if it means I'm gonna be wearing slops to class, I was wearing that. And no, like people just thought, oh, it's just a phase. Maybe school is just hard. You know, you can't, cause like that's so.
Only
true.
you can understand.
Only you, because when I tell you that the way I got through it was because of this one person. Like it's shocking. I would be at home, I would be there crying, I'm thinking, I think it's time I go home because right now things are just not well. She would just randomly call me and like, dude, let's pray. Like, it happened more than once.
Right.
Every time I was in my blankets crying and
at your lowest.
I was at my lowest point, she would call. So I feel like sometimes God just sends people to be like, dude, this is just your person.
Help them.
Help them.
Otherwise,
otherwise, I promise you, I don't think I would have gone through that time had I not had her in my life. Even until now, she still checks up on me. Like times go hard for me, and she'll be like, "Hey, girl, how are you doing?" Like random, like it's so random. It's like God just sent her to be like, "Dude, this is your."
So
how about you?
So I was gonna ask actually, how else do you guys maintain a healthy mind then? Now, whether or not you have depression.
For me also, I have like those trust issues. So let's say for example, I feel when I'm feeling like I'm depressed, I just find a random person, a stranger, and then I can share. Because with the people that are close to me, I feel like if I tell them, they're going to tell other people.
That's
and then
true.
people see me different. So I rather go to someone that I can meet just this day, and then I rant, I just pour out everything that is in me. And then after that, I just feel better. And then because people, they don't really respect confidentiality.
I know that, but then like as a Christian, I feel like you should just be. God did not push you on this earth just to be by yourself. That's how I had been living my life, guys, since like I was a toddler. That's how I've been living. But then I as I've been growing, I noticed that being a Christian, you're put in a family. There's no way your lung can just work on its own. Like serious, your body parts are all there because they're connected in a way. That's why we're all put in these small communities. That's why CG comes into place. Those are your safe places. Those are meant to be your safe places.
Meant to be. But they're not always.
Because the people who will be there sometimes.
You're in a CG, but you can always trust
connect group guys. CG's connect groups.
At least one person. I know right now, as of this moment, I have one person that I can go to like 5 a.m. or 3 a.m. I'll be like, dude, this is happening in my life. Like this just happened in my life because I found someone I can trust, like in person. They're not
confident.
They're my person, guys. Like I go to them.
You literally pour out everything. You open up.
I'm not that person who just randomly trust someone. I need to literally feel
you have to earn that.
They have to earn it. Like I don't just open up to anyone. That's just who I am. That's I used to be very insecure, but then I got into a point where I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna trust everybody.
That's the other thing. Like
if
your
it
question.
doesn't work out, then it doesn't.
Yeah, I was also like your question. Like I just realized it right now that sometimes, because I feel like if like you're in that lowest point, right? You feel depressed. It's because you are seeing life as if it's happening to you. You're not in charge actually of your circumstances. So you need to shape up your circumstances. So if you can be vulnerable enough to say that I'll just talk with my friend or my boyfriend or my girlfriend, if they decide to tell someone else, it's fine. But for me, this is how I'm feeling. I want to feel better. Probably by letting out everything that is in me.
It helps. You might not be sure what the person's going to do with the information after you give it to them. Because at the same time, you have to understand that whatever information you're going to tell the person, it's going to be helping them as well. There's no way. Dude, we're all kids. We're all learning. Like, we're still learning. I remember there's a time when my partner was going through something else, right? And it was also new to me because I don't know what to do. Yeah. So there's no way I'm gonna be able to solve your problem. I have to go and ask someone else who I trust, because I literally now know the people I can trust in my life. At this very moment, if you can ask me, who do you trust? I can give you a list. I can give you a list right now. Because some of these things you literally have to pray about it. Like, I've learned the power of prayer through like the whole of last year, and this year has really taught me the power of prayer. You can pray, I'm like, God, if you want me to trust this person, like you have to be precise about your prayers. That's another thing. If you want me to trust this person, can they say these words to me? Or can they say this to me? Or can they do this to me? Like, that's actually how you're gonna be specific. Because if you just say, give me a sign, but like, dude, anything can be a sign. So it's not specific. Be specific about what you want. Be specific about what you want to see. And then it will actually happen that way. Then that way you'll be able to know who you can trust and who you can't trust.
For me, when it comes to taking care of my mental health, I, like you, have had depressive episodes in my life as well. And
how did you overcome them?
Yeah, so the way that I ended up coping with them is by doing the smallest thing that you can. Baby steps. You need to focus on baby steps. You need to focus on taking care of yourself. Not putting other people's needs ahead of yours. Like you said, it's a loss. It's like, at least in my experience, it's a loss of control. You feel like there's nothing in your life that you can have that you're in control of.
Yeah, everything is just happening.
It's happening,
but you can't do anything.
And you're passive
just one
observer.
thing after the other.
So I journal. I definitely suggest journaling.
But not everyone feels comfortable journaling because they'll be like, if I write it down, someone is gonna read it.
Yeah, but it's, for others it works also. Yeah, that's so true because I've had people who say like, "Hey, just write down."
I feel like what I do is if I have whatever thoughts, feelings, whatever, throw it down on a paper. Then, when I'm feeling calm or whatever, I can look at it and I can say, okay, this was irrational. It gives you a chance to self-reflect. And you can say, okay, but this was a problem. I can take this problem to somebody who can help me fix it. So journaling has really helped for me. It just, you don't have to show it to anybody. It's just you having a conversation with yourself, which I think is really important.
Partner just pulls out.
Yeah, unless he does, but then hey, that's interesting.
They see everything that you've been going through.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is no longer for me, guys.
Yeah, so journaling, exercise.
Giving me so much pain.
That can actually happen.
Yeah.
I remember I once had a conversation with someone that was saying the exact same thing. And I was just like, guys, I don't think that it was even a voice note. Even you know how you share your drives, and then like you share your emails, and then your information ends up going to them. There. Hey guys.
Yeah, I didn't want to see that.
I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for you to see these things.
Yeah.
Dowry, bride price. What do you think? You guys, since you are females, you've been advocating for feminism movement. So why, on one hand, you guys would be like, okay, we are fine with you guys paying dowry or bride price, and then at the same time you're maintaining that we are all equal? Doesn't it feel like you're being bought?
No,
actually.
I don't think it's being bought. You men, let me be specific. Men, once you pay this bridal price and stuff, or once you get married to someone, you want to treat them like you own them. You want to treat them like they're your cow. Like you can just tell them to do whatever and they should do it. And then if you want me to suffer, you won't pay even a dime. The way you treat something that you got for free and the way you treat something that was expensive, that's totally different. You're gonna give me the respect I deserve or the respect I earned at least.
But does money need to be involved to demand respect?
It doesn't. I don't think it has to be involved. Okay, it has to be involved. Okay,
so you think men will feel entitled? They then treat you like property because they've paid dowry. Is it what you're saying? Like,
either way, whether you have paid or you haven't paid, you're still going to treat me like I'm your property. Whether you have paid or you haven't paid, some men will treat you like shit. you know. That's just the honest truth. So it's better for me to suffer knowing that at least money was paid.
Nah, not
Like,
for me.
so,
Not
yeah,
for me.
honestly,
what do you think?
I completely disagree.
Yeah.
For me personally,
Yeah.
if I'm entering a marriage, it's a partnership.
Yeah.
We're both human beings.
Mhm.
We're
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
There's no
So you
me
don't want
buying
him
you.
to pay anything?
Okay, I would respect the idea of dowry out of tradition.
Why would you respect it at the same time you're saying
No,
that
I'm not
yeah.
saying I would request it.
Yeah.
Not for me personally.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would request it, but I know if my parents or
Yeah.
his parents
Yeah.
are more traditional and
Right.
they wanted to keep the money for, let's say, the wedding or
Right.
for our grandkids or something like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't request it. Why? Because I feel like
Yeah.
there is more that he can. The money
Yeah.
or whatever you're giving in dowry
Right.
is better put towards a house for me and my husband,
Right.
or
But
for
maybe
me
that
and my
could come
kids.
as a gift. But at the same time, I feel like dowry is also a way of showing respect.
Yeah.
Like, to show, like, to thank the
If-
parents of the
Yeah.
bride.
Yeah.
Like,
However, there are other
If you
ways
put it
to
in that
show
way,
respect.
whereby they say it's more of
Yeah.
like you're appreciating.
yeah,
Okay, it's fine.
it's more
Yeah.
of showing
But then
appreciation.
nowadays, you know, like people like, for example, from our country, Zimbabwe, when they're charging you dowries, like they're trying
It's
to
not
accumulate
all-
wealth.
No,
Yes.
it's not all the. It's not all
Yeah.
families
Yeah.
that are like that.
Yeah.
It's
No,
not
it's
all
not
the
all.
families.
But for
that
those
But
who
there are
do that,
some.
yeah,
and-
there's some, but then you
Yeah.
can always purchase them. Like, no, you know what? It shouldn't be like this. Like,
My guy can't
there's-
pay this.
You know, there's
I
a story
also
about.
don't.
I don't know if you know. Okay, I don't know if you heard it, but then I know you had it. The
Yeah.
story of Melo
Yeah, yeah.
and how she was.
Probably
like,
if you can just give us a
you
brief so
okay?
that people
Melo
can...
was the girl, and she was dating a guy, and the
Right.
guy seemed like you know how guys want to make it seem like they're coming from rich background and stuff like that,
Right.
right? I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
like saying it the right way, but
Yeah.
yeah. And then when it came to okay, the guy was like, I want to marry you and I want to come to your family, and I have rands, and then he actually says the amount, like he said something like I have like 10,000 rands or something. like that.
10,000 rands is South African currency.
So he was like, that's how much I have.
Yeah.
And then later on, he changed the story and it was like, no, I only have bond notes. This is our Zimbabwean
Currency,
currency.
yeah.
And of which in Zimbabwe, the currency
It's-
doesn't-
Yeah.
it's nothing. It's paper, guys.
There's so much
So,
inflation in
the
Zimbabwe.
girl was like, no, like, you can't come to my house
Right.
with bond notes. You
Right.
just need, we only accept US dollars. All this time you were telling me that you had money,
Yeah.
and
Now
you know,
you can't.
now you're saying you can't pay. Like, what happened to that money that you told me about in the first place? And then there was also a long grocery
List,
list,
yeah.
guys. So yeah, in the end,
They broke off.
I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. It was just like they were just screenshots of
Broke up,
But-
conversation.
The question is, like, dowry isn't the thing that revealed it. Any other,
Right.
there are many points before you're getting married where you're supposed to have these financial conversations with,
Yeah.
with your spouse, and this would have come
yeah,
out
Yeah.
eventually. So dowry was that needed?
Yeah. So should it be abolished?
I don't think so. Cause
Why?
no,
Because
it's a way of
like
showing
you,
appreciation. It's a
women,
way
you are
of
so
one-
interesting because on one hand you'll be on overdrive if, let's say, for example, you're getting the same salary at your workplace, or that you have been saying that you can't have this job, you'll be like, no, we are
Because
equal.
At the end of the day, you
But
know
when it
what?
comes to dowry, you're like, no, we shouldn't abolish it.
I agree with you that we shouldn't make it mandatory. Like
Right.
if that's if everybody agrees
Yeah.
that that's your culture
Right.
and you want to preserve that, then cool.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't think it's something that we should
But
encourage
if
anymore.
you have to talk to your partner. If you're gonna say I don't want to pay, then make sure your partner knows, like
That
from the
you
very
don't have to
beginning,
pay.
that you
Yeah.
you don't want to pay. Because if she wants someone who pays, she has
Yeah.
to look for someone who pays.
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes,
And-
like what Thandi was saying, that is that women will do it for their parents. Because
Yeah.
their parents, they feel like that has to happen. It's tradition.
It's a
for them.
tradition. If
Yeah.
you come from a traditional family, then
Yeah.
it has to happen. If you
Oh.
don't come from a traditional family, then oh well,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
go for free and be a cow. It's okay.
I just also worry about like the message that we
Yeah.
send younger people, especially who
Right.
grow up feeling or thinking that
Yeah.
for boys, this pressure that
Yeah.
man, I like that girl, but you know I'm too poor for her.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you
it
know,
happens
it's not
a lot.
about money.
Yeah.
Or on the other hand, girls
Yeah.
who feel like
Yeah.
a commodity and an
Yeah.
object.
Yeah.
Some girls, not everybody, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
I fear what it teaches people at a young age. Of course, when you grow up and you mature a little bit more, you can say, okay, it's actually a tradition thing, not about me as a human being. But I wonder if we internalize that idea that women are objects, a prize to put on your shelf. I will buy it, you know.
But don't you think that's where it comes from? Like, because there's this thing of paying dowry.
But I think
I can't say
so they feel like, I paid for you. Eh?
No, I think it also comes down to us not really understanding why why this thing was put in place in the first place. It's more to go back to our parents not teaching us really about the rules, about why this is a thing that has to happen. We just see it happening, but you don't really know the reason
why. So like from my research, every country or every area has a different reason why. For some, giving cows was just for the wedding. Right. You know, the money was just for the wedding. Or then for some, it's for the parents to take care of themselves in old age. For some, it's for the children, actually, for the married couple.
And then for some, it's to show that it's to show that you as a guy are able to take care of the girl that you
So that gap has to be closed, because like what you're saying, from now our parents didn't pass on that kind of explanation. So now people, they feel entitled, like, hey, I paid for you. You're mine, I can do anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
that's what we're trying to avoid.
But you guys, like, I'm not saying that I'm against feminism, but do you think like we're equal and everything?
I don't think we're really equal, honestly speaking.
Yeah.
We're not. Because there are things that you men can do that we can't. So we can never say we're equal. Like when it comes to, let's say, the kind of jobs that you guys can do and the kind of jobs that we can do, it's even different. Like you can get into construction and be doing the heavy lifting and stuff like that. And I, as a girl, there's some girls who can do those things, but then not all of us can do those things. Right. So that goes down to, we're not really equal, but we want to be.
I feel like we misinterpret the word equal. Equal does not mean the same.
Alright.
Men and women aren't the same.
Yes.
At all. Physically, biologically, we're not the same. Yeah. But does that not mean that we should still be both treated with dignity, the same intrinsic value?
That is correct. Yeah.
You know? If we both do the same job, we should both get the same money. Yeah. You know? Of course, there are biological and whatever's, but like we're not the same. But like,
that's how it feels like from a guy's perspective or from men's perspective. They feel like they're saying, "Hey, we are the same."
No,
That's why there's a lot of noise on social media
platforms. That's where we need
to
distinguish, because obviously women are not the same as men. Women shouldn't have to compete in the male Olympics. We shouldn't make it mixed, but there are strengths and weaknesses of both, and we need to respect that because we're all intrinsically human. That's just
equality.
You know what I mean? Equality, yeah.
Equality. Yeah. It's like saying, but then this is like a totally different.
Yeah, it's okay.
All lives matter.
Right.
Equality. Yeah. You see this. White people are saying that not all lives matter, not just black lives. And we are saying no, we as females want equality.
So this is how you feel, guys, right? Like for black people, like how they're being treated. Let's say, for example, they are racially being profiled.
Yeah.
And then, like, they are now fighting for their rights to say that, hey, we need to have an equal justice system.
Yes.
So that's the same thing that women have been facing.
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way I could explain it.
Right.
That's basically it, because we just want to be in power.
Right.
Like we don't have time to go into this, so I guess it's a topic for another podcast. But it's
but you can just share anything that is at the top of your head. Yeah.
The levels of the hoops that I've had to climb to prove that just because I'm a woman, I can do science, I can do this, I can do X, Y, Z. That people can just walk in and people believe in them. Or sexual harassment, for example.
Right.
The sexual harassment that I get on a regular basis that other people don't receive, other genders don't receive.
Yeah.
It's just, we need a society where we're dealing with similar things. So,
but it's gonna be a while until.
Of course, it'll be a while.
It will take even a generation for it to be accomplished.
But the conversation is happening.
Yeah, that's the important part.
That's important.
Yeah. So guys, I thank you so much for accepting to come on this podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, you've made it really exciting. I hope audience are going to enjoy the podcast as well.
Yeah. Oh, you did enjoy it.
Share your comments and let us know what you think as well.